Shri Vishnu Shri Vishnu Shri Vishnu
Yada yada hi dharmasya glanirбhavati bharata abhyutanamdharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham. Everyone. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanirбhavati bharata abhyutanamdharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanirбhavati bharata abhyutanamdharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanirбhavati bharata abhyutanamdharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanirбhavati bharata abhyutanamdharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanirбhavati bharata abhyutanamdharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma samstapanartaya sambhavami yuge yuge. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma samstapanartaya sambhavami yuge yuge. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma samstapanartaya sambhavami yuge yuge. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma samstapanartaya sambhavami yuge yuge. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma samstapanartaya sambhavami Samstapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. samsara loka tranaya karunya ganaganatvam
samsara davanadira loka tranaya karunya ganaganatvam
samsara davanadira loka tranaya karunya ganaganatvam
praptasya kalyana gunanavasya vande guru shri charanarvindam
praptasya kalyana gunarnavasya vande guru shri sharanarvindam
samsara davanadira loka tranaya karunya ganaganatvam
samsara davanadira loka tranaya karunya ganaganatvam
praptasya kalyana gunanavasya vande guru shri charanarvindam
praptasya kalyana gunarnavasya vande guru shri sharanarvindam
Jaya Sriman Narayana
Jaya Sriman Narayana Jaya Sriman Narayana
Jaya Sriman Narayana
Jaya Bhagavan Shri Krishna
Jaya Bhagavan Shri Krishna
Jaya Shri Guru
Jaya Shri Guru
Sanatana Dharma Jayate
Sanatana Dharma Jayate
Dharma Rashtra Jayate
Dharma Jayate.
Suryavansha Jayate.
Suryavansha Jayate.
International Sanatana Dharma Society Jayate.
International Sanatana Dharma Society Jayate.
Om Hri Om. Very good. Namaste, everyone. Thank you all very much for being here. Both our congregation, who is here with us live, some of whom have come from a very long distance, as well as everyone who is currently watching this live stream from all throughout the world. I don't need to repeat, but oh yes, it's so nice knowing that we have an audience of people from throughout the world. And I see some of the names already in the chat who I know who are indeed from many, many different nations, and others who have not commented yet, who again are from all over, from Australasia, from Europe, from Asia, from literally all over the world. Thank you all for being here. And let me tell you, what we're going to be doing today is going to be something quite special. First, we will be continuing with the topic that we were discussing the last 2 times that we were together, and that is Manushya-Tattva. And what that means in English is principles of how to be human, principles of being human. We're going to continue with these verses that we've been looking at, but then afterwards we will be doing something very special. First, we are going to have a yagya, Agnihotra yagya ceremony, a fire ceremony, which is something that we do indeed do as often as we can. The reason why we're doing this is twofold. First and foremost, because indeed we are in a very special, very chaotic, very interesting, very crazy, very beautiful time right now. All of the above and more. As we are entering late October, of course we know that, in America there is an election coming up in just a few weeks, the most important election in the history of America, to put it very lightly, actually. But more than this, there is a lot that is happening in the world. There are wars, there are rumors of wars, there is a lot of chaos, there is a lot of despair on the part of all sorts of living beings, not just human beings. But, yes, it's a chaotic time. As a result, what we've seen is that, there are many people who are lost in the world today, specifically today, and that's been the case for quite a few decades, but exponentially it has increased. We know that there are a lot of people who are lacking meaning in their lives, who are lacking hope, who are depressed, who just want to know that they are loved and cared for. And this is the main reason why we're going to be doing this yagya, is to bring about an atmosphere of auspiciousness to our world, to draw down the blessings of the devas and devis, the gods and goddesses, to ask very humbly for the blessings of God upon us, and to help to safely usher us all into a new golden age, which is about to happen. Everyone knows it and feels it. Everyone knows something is coming. Something enormous is coming. And people know. What is that? Well, we're blessed. We are very humbly blessed that we know exactly what's coming, because we have the Vedic scriptures. There is a mini golden age that is about to dawn upon us. So this is one reason why we're doing this yagya that we will do afterwards, this very sacred, very ancient ceremony, is to help to bring this about. The second reason is that we are going to be having an initiation ceremony. We have 2 absolutely wonderful individuals who are here, who have traveled to come here for initiation. When we get to that time, I will talk a little bit more about them and thoroughly embarrass them, which I'm warning you now. I will tell you a little bit more, just a few details about them and why they are taking initiation. But again, that will come after the regular discourse. We may or may not have time for questions and answers. We'll see, because we're doing a lot today. But with that, let's dive into what we are going to be doing today, and that is, again, a continuation of the verses from the Srimad Bhagavatam that we have been looking at. And these verses, very specifically, are from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 11, verses 8 to 12. So, several verses that we're looking at. And indeed, this is a wonderful list of attributes that an individual should have if they are indeed going to consider themselves to be Manushya, very specifically. And again, not to repeat this, but I'll just say very briefly, there is a difference between merely being a biological human versus a Manushya. A biological human, that could be anyone you meet on the street who has the ability to speak to you, walk on two legs, think to some degree, in some cases not so well, in some cases exceptionally well, vast range. That's a biological human. We're not talking about merely biological humans, what would fit the scientific definition of a human being, but rather, first, we're talking about a human person. And secondly, we're talking about that human person as they have brought themselves to the level of truly being perfectly the definition of a human being, a human person who seeks excellence and virtue and nobility and goodness in all that they think, in all that they say, in all that they do. That's who we're talking about. That is who is being spoken of here in these verses of the Srimad Bhagavatam. So all that being said, let us continue with the list. The very last thing that we spoke about was contentment, santosha, contentment. So now let's continue with this list. The next thing, rendering service to saintly persons. Rendering service to saintly persons. This is, first of all, my favorite thing to do throughout my life, even as a child, even when I was 14. I would engage in the service of saintly persons, and I did this again and again and again with any saintly person I met. And let me first start with just making this somewhat personal, actually, and then I'll talk about the principle of this. I said I have enjoyed doing this myself throughout my life, starting when I was 14, and the first truly saintly person who I met, who was my first guru, Sri Yudhiṣṭhira Acharya, who I met, and he initiated me in the Om Namo Narayanaya mantra, and I met many other truly authentic gurus after that. Now I am not as much blessed with, let's say, the physical presence of such saintly beings in the form of gurus, but I am in the form of Vaishnavas, in the form of other individuals who, many of whom are my own disciples. And I don't say this to them a lot, I don't want this to go to their head, but it is one of my greatest pleasures to render service unto them in any small way that I can, to help them in any small way that I can, in any certainly big way that I can. Now, that personal aside over, what does this mean to render service to saintly persons, and why is it something of such vast importance? Truth is alive. It's not dead. It's not a concept. I've said this a million times. I have a PhD. Trust me, I'm educated. Trust me, I've read many books, etc., etc. Truth is not merely to be found in a book. It's not merely a matter of, how educated you are. Rather, truth is something that's living. Truth is something that, speaking of service, that we serve. We are to serve truth in every way. Now, that truth being alive, not just being a dead rock, how do we know that truth? It's by deriving that truth similarly from someone who is alive. Again, not just a book, not just an object, not just, today, watching a YouTube video, listening to a podcast. Rather, there has to be someone who is alive, that is a saintly being, if and only if, in addition to being alive, they themselves personify that truth. That's the definition of a saintly being. What's a saintly being versus Joe Schmo down the street? A saintly being personifies that truth in everything that they are. That's what makes them a saintly being. This is how we derive truth. This is how we derive the blessings of God. This is how we are in the presence of that living example of what we are to do and what ultimately we are to be, is by being in the presence of such a being who, when we're in their presence, we have the overwhelming confirmation within our heart. This person is saintly. They are living themselves in the presence of God. And again, I've been fortunate enough to have known such people in my life who you're in their presence and you understand that, is there a physical body there? Sure. But within, all that there is for that person is God. That's a saintly being. It's by rendering service to such beings that we now elevate ourselves. And to do so with humility, understanding that that saintly being doesn't need our service. They're allowing us to do a little something for them because it benefits us, because it teaches us humility, because it teaches us discipline, because we are now doing the good as opposed to its opposite or nothing. So that is why this is of such importance. There is no such thing as a spiritual individual, someone who is on the path, who at some point in their life or another does not with humility render service to such a being, and in turn they have the grace of that being. Now let's go on to the rest of these. This is a longer one, very nice clause. Gradually taking leave of unnecessary engagements. Now, this is a very interesting one. This sounds general, but it's actually speaking about a concept that's very specific. And you do have kind of a similar concept in several different religions, but this concept is brought to its perfection in Sanatana Dharma. And that is this. It's the idea that if you take a typical human person and let's say they live a normative length of life, 75, 80 years old, something like that. That person will go through natural stages in their life. You see this all the time. At first, they're a student, they're a young person, they're a student, they're learning in every way, not just formally, but in who they are. They're learning from experiencing the world, etc. Then it comes to the point where having now become an adult, they do adult things. What does that mean? They find someone who they fall in love with, they get married, they have children, they have a career, they have a job, etc. And that tends to be a pretty long period of time, where now they establish themselves within the material world. Grihastha, this is called. But the Vedic concept is, you see, all these stages I'm talking about, we recognize them, but we recognize them in a very materialistic sort of way. In Vedic spirituality, we understand these stages both practically, but also spiritually. And that is now still dealing with the second stage. All right, a person's married, the typical person, they have a career, they buy a house, etc., they have kids. The idea, of course, is that while the practicalities all have to be there, they have to make money, they have to make sure their kids are taken care of, etc. The idea is that their activities are also permeated with transcendence. In other words, everything that they're doing, including taking care of their family, etc., it's a service to God. Just to take the father as an example, because I'm a man, seen through the eyes of the father. Of course, is he taking care of his children, all the needs of the family, etc.? Yes, of course he is. But unlike the materialist, who's also doing the same thing, in his mind, he's doing it because he recognizes that these people, who I personally, yes, love very much, my wife is a devotee of God. I'm doing this as a service to God indirectly through her. I am serving her, and in that way serving God. My children, they're my children. They can be 5 years old and do silly things, but I understand that these little children have been given to me for protection, that they are Atman, they are living beings, they are spirit, they are consciousness, part and parcel of God, and it is my service to God to make sure that no harm comes to these children. And in this way, the vision is transcendentalized for the individual who is a spiritual householder versus just a materialist. But now we can deal with exactly what is being said here, gradually taking leave of unnecessary engagements. This is one of the truly unique aspects of Dharmic Vedic civilization. And you know that I use terms like this all the time: civilization, civilizational, etc. And there's a reason why I do this. It's because the talks that I'm giving are for the audience who are right here, for the people watching right now, but they're also for an audience 3,000 years from now as well. We need to understand what is meant by transcendental civilization in every sense of that term. In Vedic civilization, the idea is that now, having gone through these stages of life and coming toward the end of this second stage where, all right, well, I've worked hard, I have raised children. Oh, my children are 20, 25 years old now. And now I'm seeing my children's children. I'm seeing my grandchildren. And me, as far as my career, oh yes, I can retire now, etc. In the West, the idea of retirement is that, all right, yes, your children have moved out, you've got grandchildren. Now you just get an RV and travel the nation. You play shuffleboard, you get together with friends and play, oh, now you can play all the cards and poker you want, and etc., etc. So that's the idea in materialism. The idea in Vedic civilization is something quite different. And that is that now that, oh, you've done everything that you can, that you needed to, now slowly, gradually, you begin to truly devote yourself full-time to God. And this is, again, something that's unique. It comes to the point where, and this is with the couple, if one has not passed away already, God willing, both are together, the mother and the father, the kids have been gone for years now, they now begin to focus more. They already should have been, but now more on meditation, on reading the Vedic scriptures, on perfecting themselves. After all those years, any little faults or anarthas that they still have, oh, they do their best. Yes, oh, I still have a little bit of a temper. No, let me soothe that temper. Let me have peace within. And it comes to the point where little by little, they begin to focus exclusively on God. To the point where, indeed, that's the ultimate last stage, when they are now, oh, not just retired, but truly, truly elderly. So traditionally, this is when you're about 75 or so. Oh, at this point, now you become essentially a full-time yogi at that age, where, oh, you may still be living in your home or maybe in an ashram or wherever. That doesn't matter. The externals don't matter. But now you realize, oh, I've done everything that I can do in this world. Now, physically I'm not quite the same, etc. I've accomplished everything. Now what else is there? I know what's next. I know. What's next? I die. I leave this world. Maybe tomorrow, oh, maybe another 10 years, whatever. But I know. I'm not going to lie to myself. And like some elderly people, oh, I'm 99 years old and, oh, I'm going to still live forever. No. I know that now is the time. Let me focus on God so that when I do leave this world, I leave with true spiritual dignity. Understanding that when I close my eyes for the last time to this world, when spiritually my eyes are open, I am seeing God before me. So that's the goal. So thus, this is why this says this, gradually taking leave of unnecessary engagements. With this goal in mind, that eventually we understand what is truly necessary and what is unnecessary. It comes to the point where at that last stage we realize, oh, I've accomplished wonderful things. I have things to be proud of. I have beautiful children. Look at this. They've created beautiful grandchildren. They're all doing well. That's all wonderful. But ultimately, we must all face our mortality. It doesn't matter if we're 15. It doesn't matter if we're 70, 79. We have to face our mortality eventually. That being the case, now I will focus exclusively on God. Let's go on. Observing the futility of the unnecessary activities of human society. That's a long one. Let me read this again because it's important. Observing the futility of the unnecessary activities of human society. Oh, this is something that in one way or another I speak about almost every week, don't I? It's sad. It's sad. Most people today, good number of people today, engage in futile activities. And of course, we always have choices, but much of it isn't really a full choice on our part. Why? Entertainment, futile activities are pushed upon us. Pushed upon us. So we'll have people who are 45 years old and will spend still 4 hours a day playing video games or constantly going to the movies. Nothing wrong with movies. But all they focus on is entertainment. All they focus on is the latest entertainment gossip. Oh, what's so-and-so doing? Oh, who did so-and-so divorce? And on and on and on. And sports. Not doing sports. See, doing sports is good. I tell people all the time, oh, you need to be physically fit and active, etc. Oh, it's good if you were to do sports. Oh, go play basketball, play football, play whatever the game is. But to just sit there like a schlump on the couch and watching sports, no, that's a futile activity. Oh, once in a while, oh, that's okay. I'm talking about the ones who are the true fanatics, fans. See, fan comes from fanatic. And that's all they want to do. These are futile activities. It must come to the point where, if you haven't realized it already, and trust me, I was one of these, and I've known many people who, they're 14 and they already realize this. What are these people doing? They're 14 and they already realize this. They kind of look around. What are these people doing with their lives? What are they doing with their time? So there are even young people who realize this. Again, I was one of them. But for those who didn't realize it immediately, eventually we have to realize that, yes, this is all by design. Why is it that, increasingly, for generation after generation, for roughly the last 100 years, a little bit more than that actually, little by little, incrementally, we have had more futile entertainment and activities thrown at us, to the point where now it's almost impossible to avoid it. We carry futile activities in our pocket in the form of an iPhone that you can do all sorts of futile things with that will rob you of time. Oh, it's fun, whatever that means. But my Lord, these activities ultimately give us nothing. I think it was last week that I said this. If not, then it was the week before. That you can easily acquire gold. You can easily acquire land. You can easily acquire wealth. You can easily acquire so many things in this world. What is one thing which, once you've lost it, you can give all the gold that exists in this world and you cannot get it back? That's time. Offer somebody up there all the gold that exists in this world. I want that 1 second back. You won't have it. So indeed, this is why we are to avoid futile activities, is because we don't understand the power of that time. I've said this before, that a true Vaishnava, a liberated being, or even a being who is aiming toward liberation, they make time their friend. For so many of us, time is our enemy, in one way or another. I won't give all the examples. We make time our friend. What does that mean? That means that not in a crazy fanatical way that we don't rest. No, rest is also something that we must do. But we make sure that all of our time is used with excellence that will actually help us in every way. So indeed, we avoid futile activities. Let me check the time. We're doing good with time, actually. We'll try to get through several more of these. This is one of my favorites, and it's also a long clause. Maintaining dhira, maintaining gravitas and silence, and avoiding unnecessary talk. This is something that is of great importance. Dhira and mauna. Mauna means silence. Dhira means being grave. A grave meaning having gravitas, being a heavy person, not a lightweight. Being someone who other people in your company, and they take you seriously. They understand, this person who I am meeting, they're not a lightweight. They're not someone who, a little breeze will come by and they'll just be blown away by whatever direction that breeze wants to take them. No, they are as heavy as a mountain. Nothing will move them. Only they themselves will move when they're ready and for the right reason. That's gravitas. So this clause is extremely important. I'm commenting before commenting. Actually, let me actually look at this wonderful clause. So great, again, maintaining gravitas. This is something that we find very little of today. What we find is, again, the opposite. People who are dragged in every direction by external forces. Whatever comes their way, what they see on television, what's the latest fad, what is this? Oh, this person's opinion. Oh, that makes sense. Oh, this other person's opinion. The opposite of that person. Well, now that makes sense, etc. And the technology, sadly, in the wrong hands, which it is right now. We are not against technology. The people out there can't see this. The people in our congregation can. We have plenty of technology. There's nothing wrong with the technology. But the technology as it is currently employed by the individuals who control our society is there to make our minds light like feathers, and to blow not just in any direction, but even worse, the direction that they want our minds to go in, and thus make them money as a start. It gets worse after that, what they want to do with our minds. An individual who has dhira, who has gravitas, is an individual who is someone who possesses self-mastery. Little aside, something that I noticed and contemplated since probably before even my memory, actually, because as far back as my memory go, I always contemplated this. Just a nice little example that everyone can relate to. We've all seen images of the Buddha, correct? And true images where he's seated in Padma-asana and he's there, erect back, and he's meditating. But yet, at the same time, he's relaxed. You can tell he's at peace. He's at peace, but at the same time, he has what? Full self-mastery. Now, how interesting is it that even on a psychological level, sub-discursively, we see this image and we're attracted. We don't quite know why, but that's why the image is so omnipresent everywhere. You can go to some little store somewhere and you'll see an image of the Buddha sitting like this, and you'll kind of take a second glance and something registers in you. Why is this the case? Because this is how we are meant to be. That is gravitas. That is someone who has mastery of themselves in every way. And we get that. We understand that even intuitively. This is what we're meant to be like. No, not statues, not sitting there constantly like this. But we are meant to be individuals who we have mastery over ourselves such that every single thing that we are doing, every decision we make is our decision. Talk about freedom. What is freedom? That's a definition. That's a good definition. That you are doing what you choose to do at any given moment and nothing else sways you, however strong, and especially if you are making those decisions out of goodness and doing the right thing. That is self-mastery. Well, that's gravitas. So, mauna, silence. Silence. A true human is someone who is, what's the saying, the strong and silent type. What do they say today? I was talking about this way before it became a thing on YouTube starting a few years ago. The Sigma. The Sigma. I've seen how, there, you see certain trends, and it's like, where did this come from? It's just, the thing now that everyone's talking about. Well, I've been talking about this for 50 years. That is, what is a true leader? What is a true individual who is, and again, excuse me, the women in the audience, but a true man. What is a true man? It's someone who is strong and quiet. It's someone who, no, it's not an alpha. It's not someone who's the biggest mouth in the room. Oh, look at me, follow me, I'm the leader. No. It's the person who, you look at that person and they're just standing there quiet, and you know that in their mind they're observing every single thing that's happening in that room, and you know that person is not making a big noise, but something of importance happens in that room, go to him, because he knows what to do. That's the leader. That's what it means to be mauna, to be the sort of person who you're strong, but you're quiet. You don't need to reveal that strength to all beings around you at all times. No. That's someone who, they can be a leader too. Again, the person with the louder mouth. That's someone who, the alpha, they can lead too. But ultimately, the alphas better be quiet and follow that sigma. because that's the person who has true strength, not just in mouth, but within. So silence. And avoiding unnecessary talk. Kind of an extension of the same thing. What is this? Prabhupada would quote this all the time, the Sanskrit. Gramyakata. Gramyakata. Gramya means village. Kata means talk, village talk. In other words, the sort of person who just can't be quiet. They're always gossiping. They're always talking. They're always interjecting their opinion. There's a serious conversation happening between two individuals who actually know what they're talking about, and they have to always interject. Oh, well, that's a good idea, but be quiet. These are two experts. Who are you? How did you get into the room? No, be quiet. That is an individual who is a human being, a human person who will achieve excellence. I've said this a few times. This is a perfect time for me to now say this again, just as a personal example. I was a monk in ISKCON specifically for quite a few years, and it's interesting how for 6 years, roughly 1978 to 1984, if you live in an ISKCON temple, you know that every single night, without exception, 7 days a week, there are Bhagavad Gita classes. 7 p.m. roughly, 7:30. In the morning, there's Srimad Bhagavatam class. Again, any ISKCON person out there, you know this. And I attended both of these classes every single day, 7 days a week, for 6 years straight. And in all that time, these are classes. So the person will give a lecture on some verses, and then, any questions. People will raise their hand, ask questions, there's discussion, etc. In 6 years, I never opened my mouth. I never asked even one question. No, I don't mean, I asked very few questions. I mean not one. Now, why? There was a reason. In my much younger mind back then, I just had this idea, I'm not here to teach, I'm here to learn. I'm not here to spew my opinion, I'm here to learn. And learn I did. And thus now, decades later, I can give these talks extemporaneously. You be quiet and you learn, and you learn, and you learn. And this is true spiritually. This is true if you are being mentored by someone. This is true if you're learning a skill, a craft. You be quiet, you learn. And more, if you're even traversing this world and this society, be quiet. Observe. Observe people. Observe how they interact with each other. Observe, again, what's happening in the room. And in this way, you truly grow. And I always have to give this caveat whenever I tell the story. It's not that there's nothing wrong, that there's something wrong with asking questions. No, that's not the point. The point is that this is how we learn. We learn by listening more so than talking. What's my opinion? My opinion. I was never one of those persons. We need to be quiet and learn and learn and learn. And then, when we have learned, then we can ask the right questions. Questions that are precision, like a laser beam. And it's not just satisfying curiosity, it's giving me food by which I will grow even more. So, let me check the time. We have a little bit more time. So, let's go on a little bit more. The next, considering whether one is the body or the soul. Very nice. This is known, among other things, as Sankhya. This is Sankhya. Being able to make this differentiation between body and soul. And more, let's talk about this somewhat more philosophically. Between that which is not versus that which is false versus that which is true, that which is temporal versus that which is permanent, eternal. We are to make this differentiation as spiritual people, as philosophers. Interestingly, this is one of the definitions of a philosopher, that they learn how to categorize all of reality, all ontological states of being in such a way that they can distinguish that which is versus that which is not. So that which is illusion, that which is fantasy. I'll just give one example. For example, We all have thoughts. We all have opinions, views, viewpoints, etc. We have our world view. Well, we can very easily distinguish that which is versus that which is not. What is that which is not? Fantasy. Fantasy. Fiction. I'm watching a movie. All right, it's entertaining, but it's not real, etc., etc. Thoughts that cross our mind where we don't even know where they've come from, etc., etc., versus that which is real. Now, how do we know that which is real? Well, that, of course, is the million-dollar question. This is a question of epistemology. That which is of the nature of permanence. In other words, it's not something that's fleeting. It is true because it is always true. It is true because it is always true. And more, it's more than merely the factual. It is something which, despite the time, despite the place where we find ourselves, it is true nonetheless. Now, this is dealing with truth. What this verse is talking about is something a little bit deeper and more personal, and that is that which I am versus that which I am not. So many people want self-realization, self-knowledge. I want to know, who am I? Who am I? Who am I? Well, what's another way of saying this? That which I am versus that which I am not. You know, we all associate with that which we are not all the time. What's the definition of that which we are not? That which is not intrinsic to our true self. So, we all have a form. Are we our form? Are we the body? Well, which body, if we say yes, which body are we? The body when we were, 6 weeks old? A little baby? Can barely even turn over? Which body are we? The one when we're 5 and we're kind of still a toddler and looking for trouble and looking to get into everything? Are we the body when we are 15? And you see where I'm going with this. How about when we're 85 and we look nothing like we did when we were 15, etc., etc.? Well, we all identify with the body, even though the body is always changing, even though the body obviously is not us. And of course, there are a million examples that I can give. This is an example I've given many times. I've given thousands of lectures over the years, including everywhere, Hindu temples, ashramas, universities, high schools. Often when I would give talks in high schools, I would explain it in this way. Who are you? And often the audience would just kind of, wait for an answer. It would look at me and I would say, who has a driver's license here? And there would be, like a senior, oh, I have one. All right, take it out, please. And they take out the driver's license. All right, what it says on there, is that you? Yes, yeah, oh yeah, I've got brown hair, I've got blue eyes, I've got this. Yeah, this is my current age, that's when I was born. Yeah, that's me. Really? That's you? That little bit of information that's contained on a little bit of a card that's so thin it can slip under a door, that's all you are? Are you just the information? Are you just those facts? Now, those facts are accurate, but they're factually accurate. They do not point to the essence of who you are. So, all these things we identify with, are they factually accurate? If I say my age is such and such, and if I'm telling the truth, oh yes, they're factually accurate. Is that all that I am? No. Those things will change. Where are they? Where are they once they've changed? So this is what it means, this differentiation between body versus soul. That is the differentiation between those extraneous factual things that we identify with, which come and go, which change all the time, versus that aspect of me that never changes and was always there, who identified with the body of the 5-year-old. We remember when we were 5, 6, we have that memory. That's gone, but the experiencer is still there. We remember when, and then fill in the blank. Once we make that differentiation, then we are grabbing on to the essence of who we are, and that essence is the permanent, that which does not change. So obviously I can go much deeper, but this is one of the essential teachings of Bhagavad Gita, 2nd chapter especially. So let me just check the time. Give me a moment to see if we should go on or maybe stop here. Why don't we do this? Why don't we stop here for now? This is a nice place to stop, and it's getting close to 3 o'clock. So indeed, we will stop here for now with the lecture portion. And just judging from the time, indeed, we will, for now, maybe not do questions and answers. We will definitely do questions and answers next week just because of the time. Because again, we have a beautiful yajna that we have to do and initiation ceremony. I don't want to keep people for too long. But with that, again, join us again next week. We will continue with this long list of 30 qualifications for what it means to be a true human person, Manushya, Arya Manushya. So with that, again, I thank you all for joining me for this lecture portion. We are going to take, I ask everyone in the on the live stream audience especially, please don't go anywhere. There is going to be a little bit of a pause where we're going to mute and cover up the camera because we need to rearrange things. Just give us about 2 to 3 minutes at the most. But please stay tuned and we will come back and we will have yajna and initiation ceremony. So with that, again, everyone, namaste. We'll see you in just a few minutes. Please don't leave. everyone, we are ready. We will now be doing the Agnihotra Yajna ceremony. Gange cha yamune chaiva Godavari saraswati Narmade sindhu kaveri Jalasmin sanidhi kuru. Pavitra pavitra va sarva vastum gatopi va yah smaret pundarikaksham sabahya bhyantara suchi. Shri Vishnu Shri Vishnu Shri Vishnu Om Gang Ganapataye Namaha. 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 So we just take it everywhere. Mukam karoti vachalam Pangum langhayate girim Yatkripatamaham vande Shri Gurum Dinataranam. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Sridhara Deva Goswamin Niti Namine. Om Ajnanatimidandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Bhurbhuva Swaha Tat Saviturvaranyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodhayatam. Swaha Swaha Swaha. Om Bhaskaraya Vidmahe Mahatejaya Dhimahi Tanno Suryaha Prachodhayatam. Swaha Swaha Swaha. Om Nitraya Namaha. Om Ravaye Namaha. Om Suryaya Namaha. Om Bhanave Namaha. Om Bhagaya Namaha. Om Pushne Namaha. Om Hiranyagarbhaya Namaha. Om Marichaye Namaha. Om Adityaya Namaha. Om Savitre Namaha. Om Arkaya Namaha. Om Bhaskaraya Namaha. Swaha Swaha Swaha. Om Narayanaya Namaha. Om Narayanaya Vidmahe Vasudevaya Dhimahi Tanno Vishnu Prachodayatam Swaha 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 Om Shri Mahalakshmi Namaha Mahalakshmi cha vidmahe Vishnu Patni cha dhimahi Tanno Lakshmi Prachodayatam Swaha 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 Om Shri Krishnaya Namaha Om Keshavaya Namaha Om Narayanaya Namaha Om Madhavaya Namaha Om Govindaya Namaha Om Vishnave Namaha Om Madhusudanaya Namaha Om Trivikramanaya Namaha Swaha 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 Klim Krishnaya Govindaya Gopi Janavalabhaya Swaha 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 Om Tad Vishnu Paramam Padam Shri Vishnu Shri Vishnu Shri Vishnu Swaha So now everyone, one by one, I would like you to please come up, give me your right palm. I'm going to give you a little bit of these herbs. In your mind, you say a prayer, ask for anything that you wish, and then just toss it into the flames. All right? So, one by one, please. Anyone else? Anyone else? Good. Everyone had a chance? All right, very good. May a new golden age be established upon this earth. Jaya Shriman Narayana.
Jaya Sriman Narayana.
Evam Bhavatu. May it be so. Good. So, everyone who can hear me in the audience online, please just give us another minute or two as we again transition to the seat up here. Please don't leave. Things will just be paused for just about 2 minutes or so. But please stay with us. We'll be right back. Thank you. Could you just turn the fan up slightly more over here? Yes, yeah, that one. Just hit, the upper button, just like twice. Very good, thank you. Very nice. All right, well, welcome back, everyone. As you know, we had our talk, then we had a beautiful yajna, and the whole purpose of the yajna is to create an auspicious atmosphere, to give an offering to the gods, and to create an environment such that the gods themselves are present here amongst us. And this is what puja does and what yajna does. Yajna is truly an amazing experience, what you witnessed a short time ago. It is the most ancient religious ritual upon the face of the earth, bar none. It goes back to the very beginnings of time. But now we will proceed with our initiation ceremony. And again, as I mentioned, there are two individuals who are going to be taking initiation. So can you please give me the things that are at the feet of Lord Vishnu? There should be three altogether, along with the bead bag. Very good. Wonderful. Thank you very much. Thank you. First of all, we're going to start with James. And James, you can come up, and as I promised you, I'm going to embarrass both of you a little bit first. Jai Shriman Narayana. Very good. So James has been here a little bit less than a week. He's from Australia, and he is someone who has been a very serious supporter of the ISDS for, about 7 years? Something like that? So for quite some time. And again, he is from Australia. He has lived there for all of your life. And you've traveled a very long distance to be here, almost 24 hours by plane. And James is someone who I have known for all of these years to be someone who is not only sincere, not only good, not only humility personified, but even more important than all those things, someone who truly is a Vaishnava in every sense of that term, in every true sense of that term. James has rendered help, seva, to the ISDS that is too much for me to even go into all of it. He has been a moderator. He has helped behind the scenes. He has helped to get our message out to the world in so many different ways. And it's our first time actually meeting face to face. He is staying here at our temple. Again, he's been here since Tuesday. He'll be here for a total of 2 weeks. And let me tell you, it has been a joy having him here. And I don't think I've told him this, but I know already when he leaves, I'm actually going to be very sad because it has been a true joy having him here. So James, you're going to be going through initiation now, and you understand what that means. That means that you are going to really continue doing what you have already been doing very faithfully. And that is that you are indeed a full follower of Sanatana Dharma, that you are a Vaishnava, a devotee of Krishna, that each day you will continue to do your sadhana, and that means that once especially I give you these beads, that you must never let your beads fast. Each day, for a minimum of 1 round, you must recite Om Namo Narayanaya. Now, a nice little aside. I forget when it was, a few days ago, I remember coming to the temple, and it was in the morning, and it was, not that late in the morning. I got here, and I see James here sitting in the temple room, and I said something to him like, "Oh, very nice. You're chanting your rounds. Very good. Yes. So how many have you chanted? 1, 2?" And I think he said, "Oh, I just finished 34." That's James. So what I'm telling him is redundant on the one hand. On the other hand, this is part of the ritual. So in addition to doing your sadhana, of course, you must uphold all of the virtues, all of the ethics, all the precepts of Sanatana Dharma. That means the 4 regulative principles. That means the yamas and niyamas. And to the best of your ability, whenever you encounter any sort of principles of Sanatana Dharma, you are to follow them. There are so many, there are too many really to enumerate in one sitting. So James, do you agree to all this? Very good. With that, please come as close as you can. You can come up here, that's no problem. Come as close as you can. I'm going to whisper into your right ear, so come very close to me. Very good. These are the beads that you will be meditating on. And I know you have your other beads that you've had for a long time. You can keep meditating on those as well. But do at least one round on these beads. So give me your right palm. And now, these are the Kunti Mala that you will wear. And I'll just put them on you for now. The ones you have on, you can keep wearing them. There's no such thing as too many until it gets to the point where it starts to hurt your neck because it's so heavy. So don't worry about that. But I will place these on you, and these are your initiation, Kunti Mala. So come close. And again, I'm just going to put them on you somewhat loosely for now. You can adjust them later. Very good. This is your new bead bag. Again, if you're happy with the old one, that's fine. But this way you have one. Now just give me a moment, and I'm going to reveal to you what your name is. Your Sanskrita name is Madhavananda. Madhavananda. Beautiful name, Madhava. Madhava is one of the names of Krishna, really of Vishnu. And Madhava comes from Madhu. Madhu means honey or sweetness. It means that. It also is the Madhu dynasty that Krishna is a part of. Ananda, of course, means bliss. So what a beautiful name. So the bliss of the sweetness of Krishna. Madhavananda. That is your name. You good? All right. And now if you have the dakshina, you can give it to me now. Thank you. Want to open? Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much. Wow.
Selection of native teas, spices, local salt, and then there's a monetary gift.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it very, very much. Yeah, I love teas of every kind. And what kind of salt is this?
It's a local salt, like on a river close near where I was born.
Very nice, in Australia. Very nice. Wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, you know I like my salt. Well, I'll give that back to you for now, and you can just hold on to it for me, but thank you so much. Very good. So, Shannon, please, you come up. Very good. You can come close so you can hear. So again, I promised I'm going to embarrass you. It's inevitable. So Shannon is someone who, I don't know, how long have you been involved in the ISCS? I know quite a few years, but how long?
Since the beginning of 2021.
Okay, good. So since 2021, the beginning. Very nice. So for several years, you've been involved in the ISDS, coming to the live streams, being involved on Discord, and in so many ways helping. I remember when you were donating, you would give like monthly donations. And I was wondering, who is this person, Shannon? Oh, very nice, very nice. And then finally we had an opportunity to talk, and you've been here several times now to the temple. You've been here for conferences. And not to sound redundant with what I also said about James, but you also are someone who, from the very first moment that we talked, that we met, immediately you struck me as someone who is nothing but sincere, good, and who has in every way excellent qualities. You're someone who is artistic. You're someone who appreciates beauty in every form. You're someone who understands, has the ability to penetrate into what is the nature of everything around you. You're someone who is not easily fooled by what you see in society. You're someone who your vision penetrates to grasp truth. That's who you are. And let me just say a few more things about Shannon. She both plays and teaches violin. We share a love of classical music, though you know probably 200 times more than I do. You were playing a piece during the conference that I had heard 100 times, but I had to ask you, who is that? And you said, Vivaldi. Of course. Well, we both love classical music, and you have performed at our conferences beautifully, very movingly. And again, your dedication to truth is something that's unparalleled. It's something that is grounded in true reality, where it's not just, as you know, I sometimes will say with some people, it's not just, a curiosity, or it's the latest fad. This is not a fad for you, this is your life. This is your life. So, it is, one other thing, you also are one of the leaders of the women's group on Discord. In fact, I could go on and on how active you are on Discord, encouraging so many people, answering so many people's questions on health, on women's issues, on just so many different things happening in the world today, and also Vedic philosophy, which you also have a very, very good grasp of. So it is absolutely my pleasure to be giving you initiation. Uddhava, can you please give me the other items? And with that, again, if you can come very close, you can come up here. It's perfectly fine, just as close as you can. And I'm not going to repeat, but the same things that I said to James, you are already doing it, but you will continue, correct?
Yes.
Doing the sadhana, following the virtues, the principles, etc.
Yes.
And you are ready for initiation.
Yes.
Very good. With that, come close to me, give me your right ear. Om Namo Narayana. Very good. Give me your right palm. These are the beads that you will be doing your sadhana on from now on. This is the kunti mala that you will wear. And again, I'll just put it on you temporarily. For now, you can adjust it however you need so that it's comfortable. I can hopefully put it on twice. Yeah, there we go. All right. And whether you have one or not already, nice bead bag for you. And you know how to use that.
Yes.
Very good. All right. With that, just give me a moment and I will reveal a name to you. Very interesting name, actually. Very interesting name. Your name is Vidyarupa. Vidyarupa. This is a name of Saraswati. This is a name of Saraswati. It means the form or the personification of wisdom. Vidyarupa. And it's interesting, I don't usually reveal these things. I had two names coming to me, Saraswati as well. But then it was made clear to me that no, this is a name of Saraswati. So you almost had the name Saraswati. But no, Vidyarupa. And afterwards I can spell that for you, etc. But it's how it sounds. Vidya, long A on the end, means knowledge, wisdom. And then Rupa, long U, long A. Rupa, because it's feminine. So altogether, Vidyarupa. And it means the personification of wisdom, a name of Saraswati. Good? Very good. Very good. I don't know if you have any
Yes.
dakshina. Very good. Take your time.
Tried to make it.
Oh, beautiful. That is beautiful. Are these are real flowers.
Those were lotus flowers. I saw them and they made me think of Krishna.
Actual lotus flowers. Those are very
Dried lotus flowers.
very difficult to get in our climate.
Yes.
Very difficult. And ghee. Two things we always need. What's the first thing? Incense. Second thing, ghee. So thank you so much. I appreciate it very, very much. Thank you. Vidyarupa. Can you focus for me? Thank you. Very good. Well, it's about 10 minutes or so to 4 o'clock. So we had a very nice long session today. We had a lecture, we had yagya, we had beautiful puja, we had beautiful, beautiful bhajans, beautiful, beautiful shloka recitation, and then an initiation ceremony. The ISDS family continues to grow in every way, both with initiates and individuals who are not initiated yet, but who just keep coming and coming and coming. And speaking of which, before we end for today, let me just say to everyone in the audience very quickly that, again, to repeat, if you have found any of what you experienced today, if this is your first time, your 10th time, however many times you've been here, if you found this to be inspiring, to be something that you've derived good knowledge from, if you want to learn more about Sanatana Dharma, join our Discord server. And the link, I'm sure, either is or will be in the chat very, very soon. Follow that link and join our Discord server. When you are there, you will see hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of devotees who are connected to the International Sanatana Dharma Society. And there is conversation, there are group discussions, things take place 24 hours a day, literally, and 7 days a week, because we have devotees from 70 nations at least who are involved. So please join our Discord server. The other thing is, please visit our website, dharmacentral.com, exactly how it sounds, dharmacentral.com. You'll see our many books that are available there. You'll see we have a beautiful mantra meditation album that is available. You can donate to the ISDS, and yes, we need your donations to continue all the things we're doing. You can become a member of the ISDS. And then finally, let me actually say this, because it's kind of obvious, because it's next to me all the time, but Song of the Sun, this wonderful book, I'll just remove this for one moment so people can see better. Song of the Sun is a truly immense work of epic literature that was written by one of our foremost disciples, members and leaders of the International Sanatana Dharma Society. And it's, close to 500 pages, and it is a truly unique and amazing story, which once you start reading this, you won't want to put it down. You'll have to put it down to go to sleep or to eat or to do something, but you won't be happy having to put it down. It is that good of a book, and it is a book that, and I don't say this lightly, people know how much I love Lord of the Rings and how important those 3 works are to me. This work truly rivals Lord of the Rings. So get your copy when you have a chance. It's available on Amazon and you'll find it. Song of the Sun by Jonathan Hughes, otherwise known as Krishna Prasada. So please get this book when you can. You will not regret it. And with that, everyone, I thank you for being here. Please join us again next week. I promise it won't be as long. We will have puja, talk, and we will take questions and answers next Sunday, next week. So again, I thank you all for being with me, both our congregation here as well as everyone joining us online. And namaste. Jaya Shriman Narayana.
Jaya Sriman Narayana.
Jaya Bhagavan Shri Krishna.
Jaya Bhagavan Shri Krishna.
Jaya Shri Guru.
Jaya Shri Guru.
Sanatana Dharma Jayate.
Sanatana Dharma Jayate.
Dharma Rashtra Jayate.
Dharma Rashtra Jayate.
Surya Vangsha Jayate.
Surya Vangsha Jayate.
International Sanatana Dharma Society Jayate.
International Sanatana Dharma Society Jayate.
Victory to Sanatana Dharma Evam Bhavatu. May such victory be so, and such victory is inevitable and shall be so. With that, everyone, I ask you all that between now and the next time that we get together, that you please take very, very good care of yourselves in every way. And as I've been repeating throughout 2024, and will continue to repeat for some time, even though it is an eternal truth in actuality, I say to everyone these words of Bhagavan Sri Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. Ma shuchaha. Ma shuchaha. Ma shuchaha. Do not fear. Do not fear. Do not fear. And until next time.